Hey everybody, it's Decap here, and welcome to This Week in WoW for the week of August 22nd. As always, we will start off with the Mythic Plus affixes for this week. This week we have Fortified, Storming, and Bursting. Again, we have Fortified, Storming, and Bursting. Now, this it's also a good time to mention that Mythic Plus got changed a little bit going forward for the rest of this season. So, first of all, these are good affixes for people who like to push keys, storming and bursting. If you're really pushing keys, you're probably going to have a Shadow Priest in your group, and they're going to be able to dispel the bursting, making these affixes basically nothing for you. And it's also fortified and not tyrannical. So, very good week for pushing, given the meta comp has a priest in it, and so it's a pretty solid week. Now, on top of that, real quick before we get into other stuff in the game, while we're talking Mythic Plus, they've actually changed the way the key scale past 20. So every key normally goes up by 10% each key. So 21, 22 is up 10%, 22, 23, 10% more from that. They're actually nerfing that to 8% more, which when you do the math out, it basically makes it everything's like one or two keys lower, and yet more as you go higher, but it'll eventually be impossible. So like if a very high end person's doing a 30 key, it would be like it will feel like a 28 key. So they should be able to push higher in theory. And so if you're doing like a 25 key was your max, then you'll probably be able to do a 26 or maybe even a 27 as your max. So there should be more pushing available. This was the change that was asked for by the high-end community. Blizzard listened to it, so that is good, I guess. It doesn't affect anybody doing normal stuff or just casual players, but should be good for the high-end community. This is exactly what they asked for. They received it, so hopefully they are happy and not complaining and stuff like that, because this should work, I guess. So let's go ahead and talk about what's going on in the game this week. So we still have the Kalmidor Cup going on. I did videos of these just going through all the races and stuff. It was actually quite fun. I do recommend it if you enjoy dragon racing at all. Now I was jokingly calling it nostalgia racing because a lot of it is nostalgia. So you're going through Kalmidor. There's going to be an Eastern Kingdoms one, so you're going to be going through Eastern Kingdoms. If you depending on what class you started the game as, or what race I guess you started the game as, is going to determine how much nostalgia you have in each place. But yeah, it was really fun to go through the old zones again, and I would actually, like I always say, I would love if there's even more reasons to go back to old zones, even if it's not like current raids and stuff. Like they don't have to put a new raid in an old zone, but they can put stuff like this in old zones. It's actually quite cool and quite fun. I highly recommend it. Check out the videos if you like of going through all the races. Other than that, this week we have a Battleground bonus event. PvP is just in a bad spot. I'm not going to talk about it much. I've talked and given my opinions on PvP. It's not in a great spot. It's definitely like dying in this game overall, which is disappointing. But it's a complex issue, and there's real reasons why it's dying, and some of it's on. It's a complex issue. So yeah, some PvP stuff this week. But again, that's not going to be a huge thing. Now, big news this week is Classic Hardcore is coming out. Now, normally we talk about only retail on this channel, but this is worth mentioning because I am going to be playing it. So on the 24th, Classic Hardcore servers are released, and I will definitely be partaking in that, just to at least see how it is, see how bad the griefing is. My biggest problem with Classic Hardcore with the add-on was how many griefers there were, and the people that were just blatantly ruining everyone's time, essentially. And it also is because everyone's on one big server, like everyone's playing on Bloodsail Buccaneers or whatever server. So maybe if there's more than one server, maybe that'll help spread out the griefers, and therefore you get griefed less. Who knows? I'm going to at least check it out. I will be playing it. I do kind of tentatively plan to stream it here on YouTube, just because it's like very chill or whatever. And whatever, I don't always have the most time, so if it's like, oh, I'm gonna play for an hour or two, I could just stream it and be chill, not have to be like super competitive or super into like that, like sweaty, right? Into it like that. Could just actually enjoy it and chill and have fun playing it. So I will be playing that. I might be streaming it. I don't know if I'll make any videos about it, but I will be probably streaming it, and you can watch the VODs or whatever on the channel as well if you care to do that. So that's definitely some big news coming. Some people were hoping that we would get a 10.2 patch release date. I guess that could still happen. For some reason, I'm not sure why, a lot of people are thinking it's going to be early October that 10.2 comes out. It doesn't seem to jive with me, and I have some reasons why. So first of all, 10.1.7 doesn't come out until September 5th, I believe. And so that would be like 1 month that they're giving 10.1.7 to be out. In the 10.1.7 patch, it specifically says changes to Hollow's End or whatever in it, right? It might, yeah, I think it does. I'm not sure on that, but I think it says changes to Hollow's End and Brewfest in that patch, right? And so both of those would then be in October, right? Which would mean that the next patch would be in November after those holidays are over. So I think it's going to be early November and maybe like the week after BlizzCon. So middle November maybe is where I think 10.2 will land. And that'll give people, that'll give the Race to World First and stuff time to get the raid done before Christmas and holidays and stuff like that. That's where I think it's going to land. So we will see on that. But people do expect to see a date soon. I expect to see the date, by September, probably when 10.1.7 comes out. But some people are expecting it more soon than that, and I could be wrong. I'm just going by my gut feeling and by the way that they, structured the patch notes saying that 10.1.7 had the holiday revamp in it. But if 10.2 comes out before the holidays, then 10.2 has the holiday revamp in it, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So, that just doesn't make sense to me, frankly. Other than that, still progressing Mythic Sark. Did not get as far into Phase 3 as I would have liked this past week. But we were getting into Phase 3, not cleanly by any means, pretty consistently. Probably about a third of our pulls or half of our pulls, we were getting to Phase 3. It just wasn't clean, right? It wasn't clean enough to actually learn anything. But we were actually doing it, so hopefully we actually get to learn Phase 3 this week. That would be obviously ideal as we get closer and closer to the end here. Depending on who you believe on when the patch is coming out, as we get closer and closer to the end here. So, I've been playing my Aug Evoker when I am on WoW playing. Haven't had really desire to like do a lot of keys or anything this tier anymore. And, I haven't been playing my Ret Paladin that much either. Frankly, there's been no news in Ret. Ret did get a small AoE buff that made me kind of want to go into Mythic Plus, but I haven't been playing a ton. I've been playing my Aug Evoker a lot and playing other games and stuff like that right now. And of course, I did all the kalmidor racing. Like I've been doing more casual stuff. And then lastly, one more note, you'll see. You'll have seen I've posted videos of like achievement guides. These are things that I've always done on this channel. Normally I do it like at the end of an expansion. However, like I said, I've been kind of bored of my paladin, and so I'm like, well, I want to get these achievements. I'll just go do them now. And so, just making those achievement guides now and putting them out sporadically. Like obviously, if you're here for current news and current Ret stuff, it's not like for you. But those guides actually are very helpful to people. At least I've been told. Over time when I make them. So I'll be popping those out. And again, I mostly just do guides for stuff that I need to do. So achievements that I already have done, I'm not going to probably make a guide for those. I'm literally making the guide for the achievements that I'm currently doing because I want to do them, essentially. So you'll see those sporadically popping up on the channel. Just because, I like to make videos and, it's I'm kind of bored playing the game like the more hardcore way, right? Pushing keys and stuff like that and raiding and stuff like that. But, I still enjoy playing the game in other ways too. So that's kind of where that fits in. But yeah, that's about it for this one, I think. Looking forward to finding out when the patch is and looking forward to BlizzCon news as well. That'll be a lot of news coming out here at this back quarter of the year. There's going to be a lot of news, so definitely looking forward to that. As always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel. That helps me out a lot. And other than that, everybody have a good one.